Okay, you know what? We could do the Flappy Bird video. I'm like vaguely aware of what happened with Flappy Bird, but I don't actually know the full story. Like, I know the game got really popular, and then I think he started getting, like, death threats or something? I don't know, it was like there's like a lot of shit that went on. He never even, like, properly monetized the game. I don't think he actually made anything from Flappy Bird. I could be wrong there, but I feel like that was the case. This is also a time when mobile games were just much, much simpler. I guess let's check it out. Unless you got something? What do you got? Oh, yes. Okay, that actually I'm curious about. I know some people who do some like hobby Vocaloid work, and they're not having a great time. They're really not having a great time. I got to shower and go to bed. Enjoy that. And then got to go to work. Well, maybe you won't enjoy that part, but enjoy the shower at the very least. Anyway, let's check this out.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion. Most app developers would love a scenario where an app they made in 3 days just...
You can just drop them in the stream chat if you want to. That's the easiest thing. I do have a link on, like a channel on my Discord, but just drop them in the chat if you want to.
...starts earning money, but $50,000 per day. Now that's beyond anyone's wildest dreams.
That would be nice.
But for a small-time Vietnamese developer...
Oh, so he actually was making money from it. Okay. For some reason, I thought he didn't make anything from it.
That was exactly the case. His app kept growing like there was no tomorrow. It was a digital social contagion.
Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird.
It is the number one app
in over 100 countries.
It's a global sensation.
You couldn't go anywhere in the mid-2010s without knowing about it. But yet, with the push of a button, the creator of the app deleted it forever. So why would he do such a thing? The common story is straightforward. The developer, Dong Nguyen, felt guilty that his game was too addictive.
That's what I
Overwhelmed by
heard,
fame,
yeah.
he killed the game to give the players their lives back. It was a nice, clean tale of a humble man rejecting fortune.
And then there's Pokemon Go, where they sold the dataset to Palantir. I don't fucking some like big fucking I think it was a military contractor if I recall, or an AI company, one of the two.
But scratch the surface, and a much messier picture starts to emerge. Accusations of stolen assets, rumors of a Nintendo lawsuit.
I do remember this is a
emerge.
big thing.
Accusations.
They're obviously not, like, anyone who thought, oh, that's a stolen asset. They're clearly very different textures. However, it's obviously inspired by Mario Pipes. It's obviously inspired by Mario Pipe.
Of stolen assets.
The fish also man, I fucking love the internet. You know what this is? This is exactly the same as the AI art people on Twitter. There are people on Twitter who will just go around circling shit in an image, be like, that's AI. That's AI. Guys, look, that's AI. You look at them, like, these are two entirely different things. AI. They're like, oh, there's a fish. Those don't even remotely look similar. It's not even the same color palette. And it's like, oh, you press the screen and you go up. Yeah, that's a basic input. It's 100%, like, he was 100% inspired by Mario Pipes. Like, that's true. Like, no doubt in my mind. But, like, to claim that any of this was copied is fucking stupid.
Rumors of a Nintendo lawsuit. Conspiracies about bot-driven downloads.
Very possible.
A decade-long trademark fight that almost no one knows about. There's even a serious question of whether Flappy Bird itself was a copy of someone else's game.
Yes. I want to let you know a little secret. Almost no one in the mobile space is original. For every original game, there is 100 clones. For every Fruit Ninja, there is 100 Vegetable Samurai. For every Flappy Bird, there's 100 Hoppy Bunny.
So what really happened? Was
Fly,
this
there you go, Fly Birdie.
a rare case of a creator walking away from a gold mine on principle? Or was something more chaotic going on behind the scenes? In this episode, we're going to flap right into it.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
The mobile
Flappy
Wild
Bird
West.
was born into a very specific moment in tech history. In the early 2010s, the mobile
Scrivener, oh my god.
App Store was only a few years old. It was still a digital frontier of sorts. Smartphones were finally mainstream, but app development was still the Wild West. It hadn't yet been swallowed up by mega publishers. The bar to entry was low, the audience was massive, and any developer with a half-decent idea could ship something on a weekend and theoretically reach hundreds of millions of people overnight. Yes, before vibe coders, that really was the case. The best part about all of this
wait, hold
was
up.
Yes, before vibe coders, that
I
really
thought he was just like vibing down in the corner here. No,
was
he's
the
on a
case.
treadmill.
The best part about all of this was the discovery was organic. People found apps because their friends found apps that they liked and wanted to tell others. The network effect was on full display.
Was this before Temple Run? What year was Temple Run? I actually don't know that. Temple Run was 2011. What year was Flappy Bird? 2013. Okay, so we already had Temple Run. Okay, so there was already a really big mobile game out at the time. Okay, sure. Not Temple OS, no. No, different one.
Stories of unknown developers and small studios becoming overnight millionaires off
Half-Brick.
simple game.
Is Half-Brick Fruit Ninja? Or is that a different one? Yeah, that's Fruit Ninja. Rovio... Who's Rovio? Rovio was Angry Birds, and then Imanji Studios. That was Temple Run. Okay, so Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, Temple Run. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is like if you want to talk about a big 3 early mobile games, yeah, that's 100%. The thing with Half-Brick's a really interesting studio. Because the way that they... Jetpack Joyride as well. Yeah, so the thing with Half-Brick is they always encourage their employees. If I recall, they would have like I think it was like monthly? Like a monthly game jam. Or like a bi-monthly game jam. Where everyone was sort of encouraged to just come up with some basic prototype. And that would be how they... like, came up with some, like, crazy new title. Like, Fruit Ninja was just some, like, shit thrown together in a day originally before it actually became, like, what it is. Half-Brick, they knew what they were doing super early on.
Was starting to emerge. From Temple Run to Angry Birds, mobile gaming was experiencing its first true gold rush. Enter Dong Nguyen. In 2013, Nguyen was a 28-year-old programmer living with his parents in Hanoi, Vietnam. He founded a small game studio.
50K US in Vietnam is fucking crazy. Vietnam average salary. Average monthly salary is $340. Yup.
Called .Gears all the way back in 2005. He was just 20 years old at the time. By day, he wrote software for taxi GPS units, and by night, he made games.
Holy Vietnam
he
traffic,
wrote
man.
all the way back in 2005. He was just 20 years old at the time. By day,
I'm sure this looks very familiar to any of the Filipinos in chat.
He wrote software for taxi GPS units, and by night, he made games. His childhood was modest. His parents couldn't afford to buy him or his younger brother a proper game console, but eventually they got hold of a cloned Nintendo, a common knockoff at the time in Vietnam, and this event would change the trajectory of his life. Dong spent hours obsessively playing Super Mario Bros. He was completely captivated by the simple idea of controlling something on a screen. He taught himself to code, and when he was 16, he built himself his own chess computer game.
That looks tame compared to our traffic. Okay, sure, fair enough.
By the early 2010s, he was making mobile games heavily inspired by the 8-bit side-scrollers of the NES era. Easy enough to learn, but punishing to master. Unfortunately for Nguyen, none of them really took off. But Dong had an idea. He felt that mobile games at the time were too cluttered. He wanted something that you could play with just
Mobile games at the time were too cluttered. This was 2011, by the way. He had no idea how much worse they were going to get. He had no fucking idea. You open up Diablo Immortal, 7 screens before you get to the game.
one thumb, holding onto a train strap with your other hand, for example. So in the spring of 2013, he repurposed a bird character from a previous unfinished project, and over the course of about 3 evenings after work, he built Flappy Bird. The game was almost embarrassingly simple. Tap to fly up, and stop tapping to fall. Don't hit the pipes, and that was it. How had nobody else thought of this before? Well, hold that thought. So Flappy Bird launched on the iOS App Store in May of 2013, completely free, monetized entirely through a small banner ad at the top.
Oh, okay.
And
those
then,
ads, right. Okay.
pretty much nothing happened. For months, downloads were essentially zero. By all accounts, it looked to be yet another flop.
Let me guess. I actually don't know exactly how it popped off. I'm going to guess like a YouTuber found it. Because this would have been 2010, 2011, something like that. PewDiePie? Very possibly. I don't know.
Then in early January in 2014, something completely unexplained happened. Almost overnight, Flappy Bird took off. To this day, nobody, including Ewan himself, can fully explain what triggered it. There was no big article, no celebrity tweet, no PewDiePie video that started the spread.
Pre-watched.
It should be noted that there was a Flappy Bird PewDiePie video,
Yes.
but that came later, after the game was already popular.
Okay. Huh. Okay, that's weird then. I'm actually not sure. I guess it was a free game at the time, and there were a lot of the free games at the time were really bad.
Some speculate that it was the new wave of iPhones gifted over Christmas,
That's
combined
fair.
with
That could
App Store
happen.
ranking momentum. Others have less charitable theories, which we'll get into in a bit. Whatever the cause, the game went from number 80 to number 1 in just a few weeks. By
It was still charting, which is still something.
January, it was topping the App Store charts in over 100 countries. By February, it had been downloaded
Wait,
more
what
than
is-
50
what was
more
it?
charts.
Oh. Canada, what's number 1? The app for the Sochi the Sochi Olympic Games. I love how it's not even. Oh wait, there is a Olympic app here. It's not even in the top 5 in any of the others. No one else gave a shit about the Sochi Olympic Games except Canada. Back then, the screens were dog shit too. So so a game that was just tapping was something approachable by anyone. Yeah, well that's why Fruit Ninja worked as well, right? Because it was a very basic input. Oh my god, I didn't even realize some of these games were out at the time. That's Minecraft Pocket Edition. Pocket Edition was a weird version of Minecraft. Up, we have, the game where you create a virus, and you spread it around the world. What the fuck was it called? My brain's thinking Biohazard. No, that's a Resident Evil game. Plague Inc. Yes.
Over 100 countries. By February, it had been downloaded more than 50 million times and was reportedly generating $50,000 a day in ad revenue.
A day? Sorry, I thought that was a month. $50,000 a day in a country where your average monthly salary is $340.
Is where things start to get strange. The reaction wasn't joyful. It was angry. People hated this game. They hated how hard it was. They hated that they just couldn't stop playing it.
Oh my god, what an early Twitter that is.
The timelines were filled with people threatening to throw their phones across the room. There are entire YouTube videos of people smashing their phones with hammers in frustration over their high
Don't hit the lithium battery!
scores.
This looks like a $400 phone. Stop!
And the critics piled on. Many accused Ewan of stealing. The green pipes looked very obviously lifted from Super Mario, and the color palette was effectively identical to the classic Mario Grassland levels.
It looks... I guess if you want to argue that green is owned by Mario, sure, but no. I always thought this comparison was fucking stupid. You can definitely say it was taking inspiration from Mario, 100%. 100%. But no, it was not lifted from the game. That's obvious.
The gaming site Kotaku ran a now
The gaming site Kotaku. What a great start to any discussion. I'm sure this is... The gaming site Kotaku by Jason Schreier. Oh, this is going to go well. Right. Jason Schreier, who... Yeah, a lot of gaming companies fucking hate him. Because he's run a bunch of stories that are bullshit. He's leaked things. Honestly, I forgot this guy. Like, how's the guy even still in the industry?
infamous article whose original headline accused Nguyen of making $50,000 a day off, quote, ripped art.
12 years ago, and Jason Schreier was doing the exact same things. 12 years ago, and nothing fucking changed.
They later softened their language, but the damage was already done. Then came the misinformation. On February 1st, multiple outlets reported a story that a 16-year-old in Chicago had stabbed his brother 17 times after losing a Flappy Bird high score competition.
What does it have to do? There's nothing to do with Flappy Bird. Okay, imagine this, right? Imagine this story. This is a story that would never happen. Oh, these two brothers had a football match, and one of the brothers lost the football match and stabbed his brother. Football bad. The reason why this happened is this was at the tail end of video games cause violence, right? Like that's the era this was happening in. This was in the era of, I think GTA 5 would have been around this time. GTA 5. 2013. Yeah, this was around GTA 5. So this is around when like that was coming out. I was like, oh, well, if these kids play GTA 5, they're going to want to go and steal cars and murder people and kill prostitutes. So that, like, people forget that idea of video games cause violence used to be, like, not a random niche talking point. Like, that was mainstream coverage you would see.
The story went viral, and it was completely fabricated. In fact, it was pulled from a satirical news website, but the panic had already set in. A new narrative, Flappy Bird was now dangerous. Next was...
It doesn't even make any sense. Even if the story was true, Flappy Bird was obviously not the cause there. It's still happening today. There are... Warning on the school shooting makes me hug a creeper. And yes, yeah.
See how the success of Flappy Bird caused Dong's life to spiral out of control, and we'll see what he did about it. But first, for some of my videos, I spend hours talking to experts and conducting interviews. I also brainstorm ideas with the team. To do so, recently, I've been using this little thing as my trusty sidekick. It's so that important
Wait,
detail...
is that Cold Fusion? I've actually I didn't know he's ever shown his face.
...don't slip through the cracks. Now, you might ask, why not just use your phone to record? Well, for me, a phone wasn't a good solution. Notifications interrupt things. Recording drains the battery. And even if you record everything, nobody wants to sit through hours of audio looking for a specific moment. That's where Claude Note Pro comes in. It's basically a note-taking
I don't
assistant
watch a ton
that
of
lets
his
me stay
videos,
focused
so
on
I can't really
conversations
comment on
instead
that.
of having to worry about taking notes. What's
He showed us on
impressive
the
is
Australia
how
video?
small it is. It's about
Apparently
the
I
size of
forgot.
a credit card, slips into a wallet, and can even attach magnetically to the back of your phone. It fits right into my workflow too. I hit record, have the
I don't
conversation.
know, I just do, sometimes I see these channels where people never show their face. I just assume they're a disembodied voice. I forget there is a person behind it.
Conversations as usual, and afterwards, Claude transcribes everything. It even identifies
Claude.
have the conversations as usual, and afterwards, Claude
That fit. How have you gotten away with that?
transcribes everything. It even identifies the speakers, pulls out key points and action
Claude, the AI-powered tool. How the fuck have you gotten away with that?
items. And it lets me search conversations later using Ask Claude. Sometimes
How?
I take interviews months in advance, and I have to go back and find one particular quote or a piece of information. And that's what I particularly like about Plord. I can find a quote, decision, or idea weeks later without digging through hours of recordings. It also works for phone calls, meetings, and day-to-day conversations where there's information that you'll want to revisit later. And importantly, Plord is built with privacy and
Shut up,
security in
Vanilla
mind,
Rice.
and that is essential when you're recording conversations or research phone calls. And what I do like is that it doesn't replace thinking. It just handles the tedious part of capturing and organizing information, so I can spend more time analyzing it. As someone who spends a lot of time researching and talking to people, it became worth
the
it.
company is called Plord. And I don't know, I assume that, how... That seems like a thing you can easily attack them on. You can easily get a lawsuit on. How the fuck have they been allowed to use that name?
The moment I saw how much time it saved me. If all of this sounds useful for your work, check out the link in the description and use my code COLDFUSION for 17% off during Prime Day promotion. There's also a 30-day
weird
free
number.
return policy, so you can try it out risk-free and see if it fits into your workflow.
use the mic on your
And now
phone.
back to the episode. Let's catch
Well,
up
it
with
transcribes the audio for you as well, which is nice.
Dong and see how he's doing. Back in Vietnam, the local press had deduced the developer's
Oh.
identity. His face was suddenly all over Vietnamese newspapers and TV. Paparazzi stalked his parents' house. He couldn't go outside without being recognized. His parents, he later said, became seriously worried about his well-being. Online, things were even uglier.
Well, yeah, especially with how much... If you're in Vietnam, and he said he didn't have that much growing up, so I assume his parents were not that well off. If people know where you live and know that you're making $50,000 a day, especially with how weird people were getting about this game, right? Like, I can see why you'd be worried, like really worried.
Death threats, racist abuse, strangers messaging him about how the game had ruined their marriages, made their kids fail school, gotten them fired, and one particularly memorable message claimed 13 kids at a single high school had broken their phones over the game and were still buying new ones to keep playing. Some of these messages were almost certainly jokes. They were trolling, but Nguyen took them at face value. You see, English wasn't his first language, and also, he had struggled with video game addiction as a kid. He failed high school tests because he was playing Counter-Strike instead of studying.
What a lad. What a fucking lad.
So it was no surprise that the guilt did land hard on him. He stopped sleeping, he stopped going outside, and he couldn't focus on anything else. Then, on February 8th, 2014, Nguyen tweeted something that would become one of the most legendary posts in all of tech history.
22 hours.
He apologized to his players. He said he couldn't take it anymore, and he announced that he would pull the game in 22 hours. The internet completely lost its mind. Many assumed that it was a marketing stunt and the game would be back in no time. Tech commentators on cable news called the announcement nonsense and speculated that it either had to be a stunt or quiet pressure from Nintendo. Others were in a mad rush to download the game before it disappeared. Flappy Bird racked up another 10 million downloads in those final 22 hours. Then, exactly as promised, on February 9th, Flappy Bird was gone. Pulled from the App Store,
then a flood of
pulled from
clones
Google,
appeared, yeah.
never to return. Just like that. In the weeks after, people with phones that still had Flappy Bird
I remember this.
installed started listing them on eBay for thousands of dollars. Some listings hit 5-figure prices before eBay started taking them down.
So fucking stupid. This was so fucking stupid. The ones that were especially dumb were the Android phones because you could just load an APK. There were APK archival sites back then. You could just load an APK.
But if Dong Nguyen's intention was to stay away from the spotlight, this announcement did the exact opposite.
Yeah, now people are like, why'd you kill it? Why did this happen? Now they're going to be
The official
speculating.
version of the story is straightforward. Nguyen has consistently said that the game became too addictive. The attention was destroying his mental health, and pulling the game off the App Store was the only way to reclaim his life.
Also, to be fair, considering how long it was on the store, he could just retire. He If he's still living in Vietnam, how long was let's see. How long was Flappy Bird on the App Store? A little over 9 months. How much did Flappy Bird make? It was making 50,000 total. 30 to 50 million US dollars. You could retire in the United States on that. You could definitely retire in Vietnam for that. Just from ads, yes. Just from ads. That obviously he would have paid taxes on that. Yeah, I don't know what Vietnam's tax rate is. But this man could have retired. Just straight up retired. Apparently the RAM situation is so bad. Nothing is said. They are going to stop production of the CMF phones because the upcharge from the original 300 was so insane that they feel too bad. Jesus. How did Google get mad about AdBlock? Well, they... why do you think? Yeah, well, you can't really Can you ad block apps? I don't think that's is that a thing? I don't really play mobile games.
But almost immediately, the internet refused to accept that. People online became split into 5 main theories, which I'll get into now. Theory number 1. Nintendo sued him.
This was such a weird theory. DNS? Sure. Okay, actually, that's fair. Didn't even think of that.
This was the most popular explanation at the time. Ask anyone even today, and they'll say that the pipes really do look like Mario, and the art style was derivative. No. And because of this, people assumed that it had to be a quite legal takedown. But Nintendo has publicly denied it. A company spokesman told The Guardian...
Also, there would literally be public legal papers. How fucking stupid are people?
...that despite usually staying silent on rumours, they wanted to make crystal clear that there was no legal action being taken. So we can safely strike this one out. Theory number 2. The download spike was fake. Some suggested that Nguyen used bots to push up the game in the charts. The sudden, inexplicable rise from number 80 to number 1 was suspicious, and eventually the guilt got to him and he took it down. Nguyen's response was simple. If it had been fake, would Apple really have let it run for months? Nothing in his previous behaviour suggested any kind of manipulation campaign, and eventually no proof was ever produced, so this one is unlikely. Theory number 3. He stole the game. Now this is the part that a lot of people don't know about. There's actually a 2011 Flash game called Pew Pew vs Cactus by a French developer. It has a suspiciously familiar yellow bird.
Again, every mobile game is stolen. Almost every single fucking mobile game is stolen. If we want to talk about stolen, how about we talk about, I don't know, a little game where you go and like move around some magical candy. Never heard of that. Oh, no, completely unique idea. No one's ever done Candy Crush before. No. How about the entire Infinite Runner genre? How about every single Infinite Runner that anyone cares about? Could he have copied the Flash game? Yeah, absolutely. Does anyone actually care? No. Not even remotely.
Flapping between green obstacles in the desert setting, the visual similarities to Flappy Bird are hard to ignore. The story goes, Nguyen eventually got quietly sued by the original maker.
Yeah, some random guy who made a Flash game that has no money sued him and was probably not even living in Vietnam. Absolutely.
Or just couldn't take...
Again, there would be public papers!
...the guilt. Whether Nguyen copied it directly, was inspired by it, or arrived at the same idea independently...
Is Subway Surfers more popular than Temple Run now? I don't know, probably? It's probably played more now. I don't know if overall it made more money, right? If you ask someone about an Infinite Runner now, most people would like point to Subway Surfers. Well, anyone under the age of like 23 would probably point to Subway Surfers. Anyone older than that would probably point to Temple Run.
It's genuinely unclear, but he's always insisted that his work was original. We could give him the benefit of the doubt here. It's a simple enough concept for the limited touchscreen input method. But for me, personally, the design of the bird does make me raise an eyebrow. Who draws birds like that? Both creators? It's a bit fishy to me, so I can't personally rule this
Birdie,
one
you
out.
mean?
Theory number 4. It was a marketing stunt. Pull the game, generate massive press, and watch the value of existing copies soar, then quietly re-release. And it's true, phones with Flappy Bird installed were selling on eBay for thousands afterwards.
Sure.
But Nguyen never sold the rights, never re-released the original, and he walked away from what could have been guaranteed millions in continued revenue. If it was a stunt, it was the worst executed stunt in history, that's for sure. So I think we can safely rule this one out. And theory number 5, and this is the one that most people accept now, he just couldn't take it. When I was reading his Rolling Stone interview,
Fair.
I got the impression that he's not some savvy businessman wanting to make millions. He's an introverted programmer in his parents' house who went from practically a no-name individual to being mobbed by reporters, drowning in hate mail, and watching his quiet
Yeah, most of the big tech CEOs who became really well known, they didn't do so overnight, right? Go look at the videos of Bill Gates early on. Go look at the videos of what's his name? Jeff Amazon. What the fuck's his name? Fuck. Bezos. Yes, Bezos. John Bezos, exactly. John Bezos. Jeff Bezos. Like, if you go back and look at their early interviews, they were really awkward. But they also didn't pop off immediately. They became popular. It took, like, a really long time for that to happen. This guy went from some random dude in his parents' house in Vietnam to the most popular programmer in the world within a couple of months.
life evaporate in real time. He genuinely seems to have believed the messages that people were sending him, the ones claiming that Flappy Bird was ruining
I didn't want to list all of them. Yes, Zuck as well. Look at the early Zuck interviews. He was, well, to be fair, look at the modern Zuck interviews. He's a bit awkward.
their lives, and he wanted no part in being responsible for that. But after pulling the game, Nguyen kept developing. He released more games like Swingcopters, which came out in August of 2014. It was punishingly hard, deliberately less addictive, and was largely ignored by the public. Some of you are probably hearing about it for the first time.
Yeah, I am.
Then came Ninja Spinky Challenges in 2017. None of these games came close to Flappy Bird's reach, and based on what Nguyen
Sounds
has
like you just liked to be a game developer. I played Swingcopters. Oh, okay, that's cool. Sounds like you just enjoyed being a game developer. Like, it just sounds like he enjoyed it and had fun doing it.
since,
Which is cool.
that's exactly how he wanted it. But there is one final twist. In September of 2024, a group calling itself the Flappy Bird Foundation announced that they were reviving the
Aha.
game, complete with new levels, multiplayer modes, and, well, NFT integration?
Aha.
If you saw
Aha.
my previous video on NFTs, you know how that goes. Now Nguyen, hearing about this, immediately took to social media to make it clear that he had no involvement. He hadn't sold the rights, and he didn't support crypto. So what happened? Well, as it turns out, the trademark had been allowed to lapse 1 year earlier. Nguyen didn't renew it, and a third party swooped in, picked it up, and made it theirs through a legal process that took almost a decade to play out.
It was announced Flappy Bird would be coming back, the original Flappy Bird. It tried to mislead people into believing that this was the original Flappy Bird, you know, and it hinted that the actual creator of the game was involved, even though he wasn't, and it's actually just a crypto scam. It was there to peddle NFTs. Whoever's behind this is an absolute fucking buffoon. NFTs in the year 2024, you've got to be off your gourd.
But the cultural significance of Flappy Bird still does live on. More recently, and in a positive vein, the YouTube channel Engineezy built a fully functional
that's sick.
mechanical version of Flappy Bird
That's
from
fucking
scratch.
sick.
When Flappy Bird was released, I was just out of university and working the 9 to 5. The narrative I got about the tech industry was to grow at all costs. And then I hear about the story of Flappy Bird and its creator, a guy who built a cultural phenomenon, and then he just walked away. Even if it was heavily inspired, which we can never truly know, he didn't try to ride the hype. He didn't sell to a publisher. He didn't squeeze it for every...
Yeah, like, that's the crazy thing. He could have very well sold it to, who was around at the time? Zing, probably? Not Zinger Box. Was it Zing? What's the big... King, sorry. King. King... Why did I think Zing? 2013, yeah, he could have very well sold to... Oh, sorry, 2003 as MidasPlayer.com. Okay. They were bought by Activision in 2016. He could have very well sold to them if you wanted to.
Last advertising dollar. Compare that
Or
to almost
Zynga,
any
yeah,
other
yeah.
viral app developer back then and since. Most of them chased the next round of funding. Most tried to milk a hit franchise into oblivion.
Yep.
Most would have happily traded a few months of bad press for a lifetime of $50,000 a day. The Angry Birds studio went public and somehow has 3 movies. Candy Crush spawned an entire monetization industry. The default move when you hit it big in tech is just to keep going, scale up, and never let go.
I can assure you, if I were to release a game that became like the most popular thing in the world, I don't have the morals to take the game down. I respect that he did. I get it. If someone comes along and is like, hey, here's... I don't even need, the game could be worth even more money. If somebody came along and offered me like $50 million for a game, I'm taking the $50 million. Oh no, the game could have been worth even more. I don't care. Like, see, here's the thing, right? I live my life the way that I lived my life when I had a job at McDonald's. Maybe I eat out a little bit more. I have KFC a little bit more often. You probably tell by my shape. But like, I don't even if I had $50,000 a day, I don't even know what I would do with that. I wouldn't change what I do. I would probably just, I would just like play Trails from Zero. That's what I do. I don't know. I wouldn't buy a fancy car. I wouldn't I just have no interest. Used to go to the gym. I need to get back to it. That's, as you can probably tell from my shape, I need to get back to the gym. But like see, in my mind, right, the only my dream car is like a Honda Civic Type R. That's not even like, I could, if I wanted to get a loan on a car, I could probably buy one now, right? Like my idea of like a dream car isn't even that expensive. I don't have any, the most expensive thing I'd want to buy is be able to own a house, which shouldn't even be a thing you dream of when you're a multi-millionaire. But right now it's kind of getting to that.
But Nguyen looked at all of that and said, nope, not for me. It's foolish to some. And
he went to go meet the Rovio guys. I have a feeling they offered him money. Like, I don't know the story behind this picture, but if you're a giant mobile, you have like a giant mobile game and you ever meet with Rovio, like there's a reason they want to speak to you. They would have been offering big numbers.
Admirable to many. I've got no problems with it. But over a decade later, with mobile gaming now overtaken with microtransactions, gacha mechanics, and engagement-optimized slop, his choice to value a quiet life over endless scale is noble. And maybe that's the real legacy of Flappy
My
Bird.
dream car is just fully electronic, my current car. Fair.
Not the game itself, not even its bizarre virality, but the very rare reminder that sometimes it's okay
How
to
much
tap
is
on
a
that
Type
exit
R?
button. So
$50,000 US. Like, it's not even a crazy expensive car, right? Like, yeah, that's a lot of money for, like, it's a lot of money, but it's also not a crazy amount of money if you're talking about a car.
As always, what do you guys think? Did Dong Nguyen make the right call? Or was he a fool to leave a once-in-a-generation legacy on the table? Anyway, that's about it from me. Thanks so much for watching all the way till the end. It means a lot. If you want to see anything else interesting, feel free to check out any other videos on this channel. So my name is Dagogo, and you've been watching Cold Fusion, and I'll catch you again soon for the next episode. Cheers.
Look, yeah, you can call him a fool, absolutely, but at the end of the day, right, he made his money and he left. Right? Let's just, okay, you know what? Let's do some maths. So 9 times 30 is 270. 270. Let's just say You know what? Let's even go below 50,000. Let's say $30,000, just to like, for any of the lower times. Let's say $30,000 for 270 days. That is $81 million before taxes. He made his money and he left. That's it.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
I do wonder what he's doing now. Like, it sounds like he's still making games, so it sounds like he's just chilling. He's just making games because he enjoys making games, and yeah, he's just living life. Let's see what his latest game was. Dong Nguyen Games. Yeah, his studio's still operating. He's still in Vietnam. His latest game was in 2022. He's just chilling. Yeah. He's got 5 employees. He's just like a... You know what? I respect that. I respect that. And he probably doesn't even care if the games make that much money. He can bankroll the entire company for the rest of his life. Like, if he's put aside, like, you know, $20 million in, like, even just, like, US bonds, right? Like, he can just, like, chill for the rest of his life and just do whatever the fuck he wants. Make games that he thinks are interesting. Don't worry about, like, any... let's find out. Dong Nguyen... His latest game was Boop. Here we go. Look at this. This is... Look at this site, man. This is his latest game. Boop. New updates. The site's not even updated. It's not even... There's not even any monetization in the game by the looks of it. Yeah, he's just living like it's fucking 2007. I respect that. I have a lot of respect for doing that. That's sick. No, that's actually really cool. Yeah, let's move on from that one then. What is this? Is that that video? Oh, you get Mechanical Flappy Bird. Okay, yeah. You think Nintendo should have hired him? I didn't even know if he would want to be hired by Nintendo, right? Like, if you suddenly had $50 million and you're not stupid about money, would you even, like, want to be hired by Nintendo?